On Wall Street, Dow futures are down 14 points. NASDAQ futures up 46. More details, srnnews.com.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But what if you could get both? Why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied too. And we know this from research of members. There's a lot they like about MediShare, but especially they love being part of something they believe in. And MediShare works too. It has for more than 30 years. There are hundreds of thousands of members who love having telehealth if they need it. They love the huge PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or you're part of the gig economy or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
Your home for Goodland High School athletics. Fort Hays Tech Northwest Tech Tiger basketball, the Denver Broncos, as well as the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer. You're listening to Goodland's Rocket 102.5, KKCI FM, Goodland Colby, and NWKS radio station.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
Today we'll start this morning with mostly clear skies, a little patchy fog to the west and southwest, and light southeasterly winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Temperatures will be in the lower 60s and will increase into the mid 80s this afternoon, with southeast winds picking up at 15 to 30 miles per hour under increasing clouds. Showers and storms will develop in Colorado around 4 p.m. Mountain Time and move into southwest Nebraska and northwest Kansas during the evening, with the potential for some severe storms and the localized flooding, mostly along and north of highways 36 in Kansas and 34 in Nebraska. Overnight tomorrow, skies will remain mostly cloudy. Chances for showers will continue into tomorrow morning. Overnight lows will be in the middle 50s. Tomorrow, cooler temperatures with highs in the low to mid 70s. Northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour and lows in the upper 40s and low 50s. This is meteorologist Chris Schromick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities, contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
As kids head back to school, it's the perfect time to get your home and yard ready for fall. At Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware in Colby and Goodland, they've got you covered. From all-season ultimate fertilizer and building materials to cozy patio heaters and furniture. Fire up family meals with a Traeger grill or Blackstone griddle, and give your home a new look with Benjamin Moore paints. Whatever your project, big or small, Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware is here to help. That's Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Your community, your projects, your ace. Shift your career into high gear with Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. They're hiring a service and parts advisor and a lube tech, and they want you on their team. You'll get competitive pay, full-time hours, health insurance, a 401k, and plenty more benefits, all while working with the crew that keeps the tri-state area moving. So don't idle. Apply today at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Your next career is waiting right there under the hood.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas. serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
You ready? One, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
If you want to win football, it all starts up front. Mass kicks ass.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
They're basically idiots.
Covering it all from the preps.
Up ahead to Blair Lennon. Lennon, the crossover back to Cure. Hello, boom! A two-handed tomahawk flush.
To the pros.
Shotgun snap to Nix. Protection is good. Bolden loads it up. He's got it. A receiver there. Franklin makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the insurance agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work.
There's a ball through the hole into left field. Charging it is going to be Sanchez. Here comes the throw home. Heim is out at home plate. What a throw by Jesus Sanchez to keep the Astros in the lead 4-3.
Mayfield hits dribbling back and forth, moves his tight end, gets the snap, hands off to White over the guard, spins, corkscrews in, and it is a touchdown. It is a touchdown for Tampa Bay.
Fly ball, right center field. That's hit well. It's not coming back. It is gone! And the Phillies have taken the lead in game one. Lefty on lefty, Kyle Schwarber with his 22nd home run.
Justin Herbert waiting for the shotgun snap. It comes in at the waist. Play action fake. Back pedals to throw. Steps up. Dancing around to the right side. Throws on the run. Back to the end zone. Keenan Allen with the catch and a touchdown.
And good Tuesday morning, everybody. It is the Morning Blitz. Broadcasting right now as of on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and NWKSradio.net. Yes, I do understand that we have had some issues over at the KKCI Tower site. This hot weather has been giving us some fits with some air conditioning issues over there north of Edson. So apologize for the inconvenience for all of our 102.5 faithful and that love listening to some great classic rock like yours truly likes to do. I don't know if Connor's a big into the classic rock. I know you love your metal. I mean, you have to like some classic rock if you like metal, I would guess.
I mean, there's some stuff floating around, a little Grateful Dead. I mean, I don't know if Black Sabbath counts. I don't know if Black Sabbath counts as classic rock, but I like them as well.
Now, Ozzy Osbourne would be on this station, so I think it actually kind of ties in there a little bit. So, anyway, once again, apologies for that, but we are on the air and we are rolling, of course, there, and we're of course also on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. You can't stop this show as long as the internet's working. We're gonna be here. Hurl Chevrolet GMC on Facebook, X, as well as YouTube. Glad you decided to stop by and get your day started here on this September the 16th. Gonna be another warm one today. Temperatures expected to get into the mid 80s, but we're going to have a cooler second half of the week. So get prepared for that. Temperature is going to drop down into the mid 70s. It looks like, I think either tomorrow or Thursday is we're going to see that cool down, but another warm day today on this Tuesday. Connor, how we doing this morning? Feeling good? Ready to go? Charged?
Oh yeah. Full energy, ready to talk some ball.
Had his 6 eggs and bagel and his coffee, and he's ready to go.
So ready.
Yeah. Do you even eat lunch at that kind of breakfast size? I mean, you have to, right?
Of course. Come on.
Oh, my gosh. Just a humongous meal.
Always eating.
Good for you. Good for you with the man with the metabolism of a child. So
yes.
That's awesome. Good for you. Oh, so much to get into in today's program. We've got Plenty of things to talk about. We'll be visiting with Jesse Newell, covers the Kansas City Chiefs. We've known him for a long time on this program as he's the beat writer for the KC Star. Recently, within the last couple of weeks, Jesse has taken a new position as the Kansas City Beast beat reporter for The Athletic. And so he will stop by the program and visit with him about the Kansas City Chiefs and the 0-2 start. So look forward to having Jesse on the program here in about 20 minutes or so. We'll get you an update what happened last night in volleyball. A couple of great matches last night and some results from yesterday. Also in the world of golf, there's plenty of volleyball on tap for this evening. We'll also take a look at Major League Baseball. I'm excited. I got a little bit of juice flowing this morning for Major League Baseball. We'll get to that coming up in segment 3. So we got plenty of things to get to in today's program. As always, if you'd like to be part of the show, would love to hear from you on our F&B Bank text line at 785-899-2222. It was hopping yesterday with lots of thoughts on weekend winners and losers. So if you want to keep that kind of passion going today, we'll take it. We'll take those comments as well on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Monday Night Football last night, a doubleheader, saw the Buccaneers come back in the final seconds and also saw the Chargers continue their early season dominance as they take down the Raiders. Anything stand out to you about Monday Night Football last night?
Lot of defense. That's I think my big takeaway.
Is it defense or offensive struggles?
I think you can chalk it up to a little bit of both, but even though the Buccaneers got the win last night, I think there was a lot of good from that Texans pass rush specifically. I mean, you know about Will Anderson Jr. I mean, he was highly touted draft pick. I think he was number 1 a few years ago from Bama, and he was just wrecking shop against the Buccaneers. And it was a little easier because they were missing Tristan Wirfs, their star left tackle. But I think the Bucs did a good job in being able to overcome that. And of course, Baker Mayfield is as clutch as ever and was able to.
Your boy.
Yes, and he was able to help get them out of that and get a game-winning drive going. And shout out to Rashad White on that game-winning touchdown. Just kind of spun his way through the line for that one. It looked like he was going to get stopped before the goal line, but it was perfect. They got there with
keep those legs a churning. Keep those legs a churning.
He runs hard.
Yeah. It's got to be an interesting relationship for Ohio fans and Baker Mayfield. I mean, initially you had to hate his guts because he planted the OU flag on the O.
Oh, yeah.
You probably have to hate that, but then you loved him when he came to Cleveland, and now you miss him.
Yes, the hateful thoughts were washed away quickly when he was doing those great things in Cleveland, and we just miss him now.
Some fun stats, honestly, from those games, especially from the Buccaneers' perspective last night. Over 450 teams in NFL history have played each of their first 2 games of the season on the road. Buccaneers are the 3rd team in NFL history to win each of their first 2 games of the season, both on the road, by 3 points or fewer. One of the 79 Browns, Connor remembers those teams, that great team, and the 1988 49ers are the 2 teams there. I also saw interesting that they're the first team or the second team in NFL history. I'm trying to remember this one off the top of my head. I saw it, but I didn't mark it. But second team in NFL history, this is the Buccaneers are to win a game in the final minute and to go 2-0 or something like that. Some kind of ridiculous dumb style hit, and joining the 75 Browns. Apparently the Browns were clutch back in the day, way before our time.
Wow, it sounds like it. I wish I was alive for that.
Yeah, well, unfortunately you are not. You are here during this time. So rough night or great last night. Like I said, it wasn't the most beautiful football in both games. It wasn't pretty. Justin Herbert looks so good though. Man, does he look good.
He's a dog.
Is there a better, I think he is the best, and there's not even a close second. I think the best football coach of my generation is Jimmy Harbaugh.
Oh God.
I think he is. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it. And I know you're going to hate it because he's a Michigan guy and you're going to hate his guts, and that's fine. But there is not a better football coach than Jimmy Harbaugh. Let's think about this for a minute. Let's think about this for a minute. This is a guy who got into coaching at San Diego and won at San Diego. Not San Diego State, San Diego. Can you name the mascot of San Diego?
I can see their logo right now, and it doesn't have the mascot in it. I'm trying to
the S and the D, yeah, but
yeah, no. I wish I could.
Toreros, the San Diego Toreros.
That's awesome.
Is the mascot for San Diego? So San Diego is where he started his coaching career. Won there, then took the job at Stanford. Which look what Stanford is now. I mean, it's
Awful.
horrific. But he was competing for top 10 spots in the rankings at Stanford with Andrew Luck and other great pieces that he had. Unbelievable showings at Stanford. Then he takes the job then he goes to San Francisco.
Niners, yeah.
San Francisco leads them to a Super Bowl game, not a championship, but a Super Bowl game. After then, goes to Michigan, where, yes, there are very much some gray areas in this Michigan story. But nonetheless, wins a national championship at a program that was not very good prior to him getting there. And now has gone to San Diego and has them 2-0. There is not a better football coach in the world of American football, I should say. The guy is unbelievable. Everywhere he goes, he wins.
Are you saying in terms of current coaches or all time?
I think of all time.
Wow.
Okay. I think of all time. Even Bill. Okay. So who would be some others that you threw? Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick is
Bill
certainly
Belichick
up there.
has never won in college football, low level or high level, and he's at North Carolina. And I guess we'll see if he wins at North Carolina. I will change my answer.
This is true, but Jim Harbaugh does not have a Super Bowl in the NFL.
True.
So conversely,
honest to God, I think it's only a matter of time. I really do.
It may be. I mean, the Chargers are good, and he's. I hate him, but he's a great coach. I mean, I'll admit that. But I think Pete Carroll's up in those ranks as well, and you have to go old school with Ohio State legend Woody Hayes from far back in the day.
Of course, you got to go to Woody. Oh, well, Tom Osborne was great too. 250 wins, so we could all go. Woody, I'm talking in all of football, across all levels. Well, you do it and you win it at the highest level in the NFL and at college, at all different levels of college. I mean, I don't know. How
it's
you
impressive.
That.
So did Pete Carroll, and I think I'd take Pete Carroll over him.
That's because he was a coach at Michigan. That's why you don't like him, and that's fine. You have a right to.
Hey, I still I can't get it out.
I'm choking on my own words.
I respect him. He is in some ways. I mean, I don't like that he perpetuated all the things that happened for their last natty.
I would agree. I will agree with you on that.
Everyone knows what happened, and that has no place in sports or anywhere. But
I will agree.
Other than that, he has displayed good coaching, specifically on the defensive side of the football. I will give him that, because a lot of those Michigan teams had really good defenses, and same with the Niners, but I'd say they were dynamic on both sides.
Their offense is not really designed to be anything like dynamic. It's not what he wants to be. He wants to be, 2-3 tight ends and a fullback. By the way, did you see the Chargers fullback last night? He's 300 pounds.
Yeah, he's massive.
Matlock, something like that.
Great fullback last name too.
Yeah,
Matlock. I feel like that fits.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, he just wants to line up and bloody up the game. That's what he wants to do, and then run play action off of it. I mean, it's a very simplistic formula. But it works, and play great defense. You are right on that point too. But that's what he wants to do.
And he has another quarterback with good legs. So
hey, nothing wrong with that. Herbert's on my fantasy team, and it's been a great start to the year.
He was on my team that I also have Burrow on, so he's getting the promotion right now.
A tough day for fantasy owners of Joe Burrow yesterday. That was a tough one. But yeah, so Buccaneers win 2019, and then that was the early game, and then in the nightcap. What was it, 20-9? Was that the final score of that one? 20-9 Chargers with the win over the Raiders. Raiders got a lot of offensive issues. They don't really have a weapon on the outside. They've got a good running back, but he doesn't have a whole lot of room to run at times. It's a lot of tough yards. And Geno Smith was very loose with the football last night. Threw a lot of picks.
Yeah, I didn't get to catch the second half because Grandpa had to go to bed. But
that's all right.
I saw the first. And Geno looked better in the first than I'm looking at the stat line right now, and I see 3 picks, no touchdowns, only 180 yards on 43 attempts. Not great stuff, but I think he looked
180 yards on 40.
Fine. Yeah, not great, but I think his O-line was kind of betraying him there in the first half. He didn't often have a lot of time to throw, and I remember there was one specific play. I think he went down the right sideline to try and find his rookie, Dante Thornton, and there was a play that I thought might have been pass interference. The corner was not looking at the football when he was trying to defend the play, and he kind of had some hands in the face of Thornton, and there was no call. Ball was right on the back of the corner's helmet, and he didn't see it. and there was nothing. I thought that was a little controversial, and that might have swung some things because that was towards the end of the first. But I don't know. I think I'm not worried about Geno, though. If the O-line and him can kind of get on the same page, I think they'll be fine. They still have Brock Bowers. They still have Genty. Jacoby Myers is a good option on the outside. And Thornton, the guy I mentioned earlier, he's for those who don't know, he's a big speedster out of Tennessee, 6'5", and he runs a 4.3. He could be really good if he develops right. So I don't know. There's cause for some optimism there. Even
Well, AFC West is
a rough
extremely.
game.
The AFC West going into the season and throughout the season is a very, very difficult league.
Yeah, they're probably not staying above the Chiefs for too much longer.
Well, we'll see. Speaking of the Chiefs, let's transition. I want to have a question of the day today. And so the question of this Tuesday is, who is in more trouble? Is it the Broncos or the Chiefs 2 games in? Now, once again, we're having fun here. We're not slamming the panic button. We're not going to do that. But through 2 games that we have gotten to see between the Chiefs and the Broncos, who is in more trouble? Is it the 0-2 Chiefs with losses to San Diego and to Philadelphia at home? Or is it the Broncos with a tight win over a Titan squad in the season opener at home, and then probably should have won game 2 against the Colts, but a penalty that got called, which it looks like as if there was the same type of penalty earlier in the game that could have been called against the Colts, some from replay video evidence. But nonetheless, still lose that game on a field goal. Have you seen that video of that guy who was celebrating with his kid? He was like, yeah, we won the game, because he missed the field goal, and then they kept the camera on him, and they're like,
and then the other disappointment. Yeah. That's
so
funny.
great. So great. So I posed the question to the FB Bank text line and also to Connor. In your opinion, who is in more trouble 2 games into the season?
It's pretty close, but I think it's the Chiefs because they've probably played against, I'd say they've played against better defenses than the Broncos have so far, given they're playing against the Titans and the Colts, who both have solid defenses, but they're not the Chargers and Eagles. But just the fact that the Chiefs just couldn't get anything going on offense, especially in that second game. And the run game seemed pretty anemic. I mean, apart from Mahomes scrambling, I mean, that's the best we've seen him scramble in a couple of years. I mean, obviously that's not something he likes to pull out early in the regular season, but it was kind of a necessity. But other than that, he just seemed a little just not on the same page with his receiving room. And of course, he still doesn't have Worthy or Rice, so he's missing his top 2 guys. But Kelsey looked off. I mean, we talked about the drop yesterday, but things like that are fixable. So that's what makes me a little more optimistic about them. But I think the Broncos just played more inspiring football, especially even in the loss. They ran for a ton of yards. J.K. Dobbins looked good. Bo Nix threw 3 touchdowns. Troy Franklin looked really promising, like he could be the guy next to Cortland Sutton. So I think there were a lot more, I guess, positive signs in that Broncos game than we saw in the most recent Chiefs game, which is, I think, more so what I'm going off of here.
I think the things that stand out to me about both sides, first with the Broncos, the defense really gave up a lot of yards to the Colts and really struggled. I guess I'm shocked because I think the Broncos are going to have one of the best defenses in the NFL throughout the course of this season. There's just too much talent on all 3 levels to give up that kind of points and those kind of yards. So I guess I was kind of, not that I'm expecting them to pitch shutouts all the time and all that stuff, but I guess I was just kind of surprised. Who knows? Maybe the Colts are going to be the team to beat in the AFC this year for all we know. I don't know. But
who knows?
But yeah, Daniel, Indiana Jones. Dun, 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 dun. But anyway, but my point being is that I'm just kind of been surprised, at least in that last game, about the Denver Bronco defense, because I thought they'd be a little bit better, I guess, was my thought in that game. So I'm kind of surprised by that, and that has me a tiny bit concerned. But give credit to the Colts. They've looked great on offense for 2 straight games with Daniel Jones, a quarterback. They've looked pretty good.
They have.
And then on the Chiefs side, I think, as much as I would love to kind of say I think the Broncos are in a worse spot, but it's hard for me to disagree at least 2 games in that the Chiefs are not in a worse spot at this point in time. But here's the thing. They have Patrick Mahomes, and he's supposed to cover up all the deficiencies of your team, and he has for how many years? The question is, have those deficiencies gotten so big that he can't cover those up anymore, even with his unbelievable talent and skill set? That's the question, because you're right. You are missing wide receivers, but last year they were missing wide receivers due to injuries. They didn't have Rashee Rice. He was out with an injury. They didn't have Hollywood Brown. He was out with an injury. So they're kind of in the same spot they were that year. Travis Kelce's another year older, and I'm starting to wonder, like, I was watching the play where he got, like you said, it went off of his hands and it was deflected for a pick, for an interception. And he was like looking at his hands or something like that. He was like looking down at his hands, like, what? And then like mad disbelief he didn't catch that ball. And I'm starting to wonder if age and father time is starting to catch up to Travis Kelce, where maybe things just aren't, working as quickly or as efficiently as they used to. And there's nothing that you can do about it because father time is undefeated.
Yeah,
unless
he's
you're
36 years old. I mean, at that point, guys, especially tight ends who just take an absolute beating. And when he's been starting for the Chiefs for the past 10 plus years, he's probably a little beat down, and he's 36. And in football years, that's getting up there, especially at a skill position like that, where he's not quite as fast, maybe not as strong. I mean, still has the same mental fortitude and everything like that, but maybe everything's just kind of declining for him, and it happens. It's natural, but I don't think it's super fair to expect him to be an all-pro tight end at this age. It might be time to pass the baton to other guys in the league like a Brock Bowers. George Kittle is still doing his thing, but that's a different conversation. But Kelce, he might be finally hitting that decline.
And it might be. And I'm not saying that he's not going to have some big games and some big plays this season. I think that he will. But maybe just on the consistency side of things, maybe it's not the best. Maybe it's just not the best. And we'll find out more here in the coming weeks. I once again, it's too early in the season to throw any team away, no matter how bad it's looked. It's too early in the season to do that. But man, the Chiefs have just got, I'm curious about, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's offensive line play that's been terrible, but when you put so much on a quarterback to do so much, even if it is Patrick Mahomes, that just becomes such a difficult hill, or a boulder to push up a hill. Such a difficult thing to do. When he doesn't have two of his top receivers in Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice, that even makes it more of a difficult boulder. So it's just a rough stuff. But I will say this. If there is a coaching staff that can figure it out, it is the one that the Chiefs have. You can't really beat Andy Reid. It's hard to knock Andy Reid for what he's been able to accomplish in his career. Steve Spagnuolo. Although, let's remember, Andy Reid got the Philadelphia Eagles to a great spot, Super Bowl champion, getting to the Super Bowl and all that stuff. And then, had to decline after that. And I don't know if that's going to happen in Kansas City or not. We will see. But I do believe that if you're going to dig out of this hole, which is not a deep hole, but if you're going to dig out of it, you've got the right man in charge to get that done.
Yeah, he's one of you could probably say, at least in the last 25 years, he's one of the best coaches maybe ever.
Yeah,
I think he's certainly in the conversation.
He's no Jim Harbaugh, but I'm just
I think the knock on him was he never won the ship with the Eagles, but obviously he turned the tide when he became the leader of the Kansas City Chiefs, and they've been incredible. And obviously you're not going to see much coaching decline because Andy Reid has been at the forefront of a lot of innovation in offense and things of that nature. So you don't think a guy like him is going to be behind the times and he's going to be the issue behind your team. So I agree. I don't think there is cause for concern because he's at the helm, but then it's also just a question of, can Patrick Mahomes really carry them anymore? Because he's only 30, but he's on the wrong side of 30 now, and he's had to do a lot in his time as a starter, and I feel like that can age you a little quicker. So obviously you have your Tom Brady's who play till they're 45 at an extremely high level, and Mahomes certainly could be that because he's a generational talent, but we'll see, because the wheels, at least they kind of fell off in week 2, because that's about as inaccurate as he's ever looked in the NFL.
Two things. One thing real quick before we get to break. The schedule for the Chiefs does not allow them to really have a lot of time to get things fixed and going in the right direction. I mean, they go to the Giants next week on Sunday Night Football, which is a little bit, but then you have the Ravens still. There's the Lions, there's the Commanders, there's the Bills. These are all in the first half of the season. It's very, very difficult. Their schedule is very hard. It lightens up in the back half, in the second half of the season a little bit, but that's a very difficult schedule because they've been the world champions and they want to play them in the biggest games. Well, here you go. The schedule is very hard. The Broncos' schedule is a lot lighter early on. They're going to probably look better. I'm just intrigued to see how the Chiefs, how do they improve throughout the course of this season despite playing a difficult schedule? And how does that prepare them for the hopeful playoffs? We'll see. But I love this quote. The combination, this is talking about the Chiefs, they're in a worse spot. The combination of poor starts, personnel issues, efficiencies, and inefficiencies is harder to overcome than Denver's slightly more stable, though imperfect position. So, well to put that. Well said, I should say. We'll see. Chiefs definitely in a little bit worse time at this point in time. Let's see here. Rob chiming in here on the FB Bank text line. Oh, he's chiming in about coaches. He says Barry Switzer, Mike Shanahan. Guess that's
both good picks.
Both good picks. Can't back those up. Barry Switzer was unbelievable at Oklahoma. Gosh, he was great. He was unbelievable. Then, of course, he won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. So, all right, 7:32 Mountain, 8:32 Central Time here on Tuesday, September 16th. Once again, going to be a toasty one. Going to get temperatures in the mid-80s. When we take a break, we'll come back and we'll visit with the Athletics, the newly athletic. That would be Jesse Newell joins us next to talk Kansas City Chiefs football here on the Morning Blitz.
From drive-through banking to mobile deposit, we make it easy to get things done on your schedule. Banking should fit your life, not the other way around. This is Jessica Von Lintel at F&B Bank. Banking made simple.
In a small town, your banker should know more than just your account number. They should know your name. At F&B Bank, we believe in real conversations, friendly faces, and decisions made right here at home. I'm Paige Sneathen, Vice President at F&B Bank, and we're proud to serve your family like our own. Member FDIC.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. Cheers all with the Andersons in Overland Park, Kansas with your morning market update. It's Tuesday, September 16th in the overnight session. December corn up 3 3/4 at 427. March up 3 1/2 at 444 1/2. May up 2 3/4 at 454. July up 3 1/4 at 460 3/4, and Deese up 2 1/4 at 468 1/2. Soybeans on the November up 6, 1048 3/4. Jan up 6 3/4, 1068 1/2. March up 6 1/2 at 1083. KC wheat on the December up 6 at 520 even. March up 5 3/4, 540 1/2. July up 5, 566 1/4. Chicago wheat up 4 3/4, 429 3/4. Live cattle finished yesterday 358.80. Live cattle 234.60. Lean hogs 97.52 1/2. Crude oil futures up 84 a barrel at 64.14. Gold futures up 14.70 an ounce, 3,696.90. Silver up 30 cents at 42.90. U.S. dollar index down 23 points, 96.66 1/2. Dow futures down 65 at 45,856. S&P futures up 6 at 6,628. Need to move any cash green or want to talk about risk management, you can reach out to myself, Jared Law, Tom Suter, or Taylor Gersh, 913-748-3000. If you're out in Colorado, you can reach out to John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
At Hogemeyer, our pride is homegrown. We are right here to serve these families and fields. Right here to fight through storms and surprises. Right here with smarter agronomics, better yield performance, and
We will get to some local volleyball results here coming up in just a little bit. F&B Bank text line wants to chime in on our conversation earlier. Jared thinks that you're just a Michigan hater there, Connor, which I'm not surprised you are. I mean, it's in the resume.
It's true.
And then big time Broncos fan Michael says, he goes, it's either the Chiefs are gonna bounce back and the Broncos when Greenlaw starts. It's neither. He says both teams are not in trouble. Chiefs are going to bounce back. Broncos are going to play better when Greenlaw starts playing. The defense is going to be unstoppable, especially after getting embarrassed this past week. So I would agree. I'm not saying that either team is in massive trouble, but if you had to put a marker on one, which one would be in more trouble? All right, speaking of trouble, let's welcome into the program our good friend from The Athletic now. That's right. He's no longer with the Kansas City Star. He's with The Athletic, Jesse Newell. Jesse, good morning. Tell us about the new gig, my friend.
Yeah, that was a good segue. Trouble. That was good. And that's well done radio right there, Ross. Opportunity with The Athletic popped up, a little bit more national scale, be able to do some more deeper features and things like that. So, yeah, it's been great so far, about a month in. But, man, it feels like the Chiefs have a breaking news story about every day, whether it's Rashee Rice or trades or losing and dropping 0-2. So it's been pretty eventful here over in Kansas City, and we'll see how the rest of the season goes.
Did you make the trip down south to Sao Paulo?
I did, yes.
How was it?
And it is a trip for sure. It was good. I'd never been to South America, so that was an experience in itself. And what I didn't realize until going down there was that this is one of the biggest cities in the world. There is basically like putting two LAs on top of each other, and the traffic will let you know that that's the case, because for our little shuttle bus from the hotel to the stadium that was supposed to go 19 miles, it took 3 hours and 20 minutes to get there on game day. So some crazy things down south in Sao Paulo, but, really a memorable experience. And the stadium was super nice, recently built, I think in 2014. So a really nice stadium. And then, the fans there just go nuts. It's like the Beatles come to town or something. It's a total novelty thing. And so there's just like a buzz around the stadium the whole time. With people that are excited to be there. So that's really cool. Obviously, I'm sure they showed it on the YouTube, the Brazilian national anthem with all the people singing that. That was a memorable thing. Obviously, the Chiefs would love to have the game back, but as far as experiences go, pretty cool, pretty neat deal down there in South America.
I want to ask that 3-hour bus trip that to go the 19 miles to the show. What did you do to pass the time there? And did you know it was going to be 3 hours?
We had been warned it was going to be 2.5. So we were not prepared for 3 hours and 20 minutes. So one thing is looking out the window since you're not moving that fast. And what was interesting to me was I took some photos of these guys. You know how if you go up to a big stadium like a K-State or a KU or Arrowhead before a game, and not necessarily Arrowhead because it's kind of in a big parking lot, but a lot of these places, they have like food vendors. You have like little wagons and vans and they sell bratwursts and cook right there in front of you. Well, Sao Paulo had that on the middle of the highway. Those people were selling their wares between lanes, but they knew they wouldn't get run over because nobody was moving. And they also knew they had good clientele because nobody was moving on there. So I'd never seen anything like it, but people were just wheeling their wagons up and down the highway, selling people bags of popcorn because they knew the highways were not going to be moving very fast because it was a normal day in Sao Paulo. So that was one thing. And then we also had discussions about how good or bad of a high school cross country runner there would have to be in the States for them to have left the hotel at the same time as us and have beaten us to the stadium. So if you think whatever that would be, 3 hours and 20 minutes, if you got 200 minutes, so can you average like a 10-minute, 11-minute mile for 19 miles? I guess that's kind of just a run-of-the-mill, probably high school cross-country runner could have beat us to the stadium if they would have left at the same time. So a lot of time for thought on that shuttle bus over to the stadium in Sao Paulo.
That story there is more interesting than the game, to be honest with you. I'm being open with you. So it's almost like those guys, that try to clean your windshield for you, but then said they were selling you food and popcorn. So that's what it was like, I guess. So Jesse,
and unfortunately we were on the shuttle, so we couldn't, hop out the window and get the popcorn.
You can't roll down the
window. For sure.
I'm sure you would have. Jesse Newell is our guest, Kansas City Chiefs beat reporter, now covering them for The Athletic. Jesse, what is the feeling around the franchise and the city and around the town of Kansas City with this 0-2 start? You've probably felt it as much as anybody.
Yeah, I was wondering if you had me on for the Chiefs fans or for the Broncos fans, because there just hasn't been many times that I could call you up and, potentially Broncos fans out there west could, live some of this agony that's going on in Kansas City. But it's an unfamiliar feeling, and that's sort of the question you go around the locker room and ask guys. 0-2 is just not something that they're used to. And the last time that it happened in Kansas City with the Chiefs was 2014. That's a long time ago. And, some of this seems like real first world problems, and I totally understand that, because the Chiefs are just so used to winning, and they've won so much, and they've made 3 straight Super Bowls. And at a certain point, from the outside looking in, I'm sure other fan bases are like, hey, you guys are allowed to lose 2. It's okay. It's okay to lose 2 games in a row against difficult opponents, and you still have Patrick Mahomes, who turns 30 tomorrow, in the prime of his career. All these things, but it's rough right now. And if you look out in the media landscape, the Twitters, the message boards, there's a whole lot of people that are frustrated, and a whole lot of people that they think should be fired at this particular moment. So yeah, it is different around these parts. I think the good part for the season for the Chiefs is obviously you can envision better things ahead. I mean, when they get Xavier Worthy back potentially this week, you can think the offense is going to be better. In 6 weeks, 6 weeks of the season, when they get Rashee Rice back from his suspension, you can think the offense is going to be better. And we saw so many quarterbacks go down week 1. Knock on wood for the Chiefs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has been scrambling for his life out there, but as of right now, he's healthy. And that's the one really key piece that they need to be able to still make a run this season. So everything's still in front of them. It becomes a little bit more dire in these circumstances. I mean, they go to play Sunday Night Football in New York this weekend, and that's a game you have to win now. You put yourself in a position where you have to win that game. And so maybe things are a little amped up or ratcheted up a little bit earlier in the season than normal, but at this point, the Chiefs still, if you talk to them in the locker room, they're sticking together. They still believe in themselves. They have a culture of winning, and they still need to, lean back on that. But as of right now, they put themselves in a position where you can't go into this thinking that you're fine and thinking that everything's okay. You got to win some football games, and that's got to start this weekend against the Giants.
Jesse, how's it going? I'm Connor Schuh, Ross's new co-host.
Hey, Connor, how's it going?
It's going good. I've got a similar question for you. Do you think there's any real cause for concern for the rest of the season with the Chiefs? Because I got to say, you sound pretty optimistic about what's going on here.
Yeah, I think there is cause for concern. The biggest thing is we know the Chiefs for what they have done in the past, and that was they always won these close games. Last year they started 15-1, but on the heels of you block a field goal in the last play, or hitters drop a snap when they're in field goal range, or you bang a field goal off the upright and it goes through. And, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are probably going to win you more than your fair share of close games, but to go 17-0 in those type of games in a row and to set NFL records for that sort of thing, it's probably not sustainable over the long term. And we've seen that these first 2 games, and that, the margin of error goes the other way, and all of a sudden the Chiefs are 0-2 instead of an expected 2-0. I just think with the schedule that they have, and this is what happens when you are first in your conference and make the Super Bowl, you got a really tough schedule the next year. They can't afford to drop a bunch more of those games anymore. I'm not sure they played horrible against the Eagles, holding Jalen Hurts in that offense to 216 yards or whatever it is, and Jalen Hurts had 101 yards passing, one of the lowest marks of his entire career. I mean, there were good things that they did, but in those games, when it comes down to a small margin of error and you throw the ball to Travis Kelce, whether it's tipped or not, and he can't catch it and he throws it up to the other team, and it's a 7-point swing automatically, and it moves your win probability from 53% to 24%. I mean, those are all the plays that have gone the Chiefs' way in the past, and it didn't go their way on Sunday. And so it does leave you in a position where it's like, this thing's got to get turned quickly. You can't give away any more games here. And you also have to have those small things in the margin, those details go your way like they have in the past. Otherwise, you sort of build yourself into enough of a hole that you can't get out of it. So I think that's the big concern for the Chiefs. Is just now all of a sudden, it hasn't been this way, but like week 3 is really important. Like they've got to beat the Giants. And so that's not really a spot they've been in the past years when you've started off 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. The urgency of the situation necessarily wasn't there. I think the urgency is there for the Chiefs. And all of a sudden, when you start to feel that way on your shoulders, we'll see how these guys respond in that sort of manner.
Jesse Newell, once again, our guest here from The Athletic, covers the Kansas City Chiefs. One area that we know, at least I find to be concerning, is that, and they've done this for a long time, and they've lived by it, but they rely so much on Patrick Mahomes, and they've struggled in the run game though early on this season. What do they do to help him out a little bit, to take a little bit of pressure off of him?
That's the part that really doesn't make much sense, honestly. early last year when they were going through some of those woes, you're right, they leaned on the run game. And the run game isn't explosive because they don't have explosive backs, but it was efficient. You could block for 5 yards, and then you'd have Kareem Hunt there who would get 7 or 8 out of those, when you block for 5 and he falls forward. And that's the part that's been missing. And I mean, if we're just going to go down the line about like who's paid on this roster to perform and who's done so in the past, look at the offensive line for the Chiefs. I mean, Creed Humphrey's the highest paid center in the NFL. Trey Smith, when he signed his deal, was the highest paid left guard in the NFL. They've got, right guard in the NFL. You've got Josh Simmons, who obviously has the pedigree of being a first-round pick, and they love what he does. Kingsley Suamataia, he's had some problems pass blocking, but man, he moves as well as any left guard in the NFL and is a bulldozer in there. So that really is the part. I agree with you there. Like, that doesn't make much sense to me. I don't expect the Chiefs to reel off 30, 40, 50-yard runs. That's really never been their MO. But the fact they couldn't just line up against the Eagles and gain 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8 like they've done in the past, that's concerning. And, I was looking at some of the Pro Football Focus grades from the guys, from the Chiefs players. And, Creed Humphrey, you just expect a top-level number 1 center in the NFL sort of line. His grade has been basically 90 over the course of the last 4 years. So far, it's 69 through 2 games. And then Trey Smith, the same way. You look at, like, run blocking. He's been 80s or 90s every year of his career. It's somewhere in the 50s so far. And so it's harder to kind of see that when you're watching a game live and not having the film view and things like that. But yeah, I think at some point, Andy Reid's got to go challenge those guys to say, look, all these receivers are out. They're down to certain guys. Patrick Mahomes is running for his life. It's time for you guys to step up. It's time for you guys to be the players that you've been in the past. And the Chiefs haven't gotten that so far. And that's been a big reason that their offense has not looked like it's looked some of these years here in the past.
Could you point to that, the offensive line in particular, and say that is the biggest reason why we've seen the struggles through the first 2 games of the entire team?
I would not say the number one. I would say not helping, because I mean, if we go back to everything like in the NFL and in football in general, it's why pass offense is just the trump card. Like, if you're down, pass offense helps you get back. If you're ahead, pass offense gets you further ahead. Running is sort of a fallback option, if you will, but it's a nice one to have, and it's a nice option to have when your quarterback feels like he can't throw the football and feels like he has to make every play for your team, which is obviously the position that Patrick Mahomes is in right now. I think the lack of offensive weapons, obviously, it's the reality is the reality, and the Chiefs aren't making excuses, but you do go down the line and you say, hey, what would Joe Burrow do without Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? Like, the Bengals offense would struggle, right? I mean, we could go down this list with almost every NFL team out there. Like, you take away your 2 top outside receiving weapons, it's not going to look the same. And Mahomes hasn't trusted those guys. Those guys haven't produced as he's liked or as he's wanted them to. So I would say still the fact that the Chiefs can't get production from their pass offense without those 2 guys and haven't schemed or created ways to make up openings, and the fact that Patrick Mahomes has sort of abandoned the game plan going in, and now the scrambles have worked, but like it also hasn't given other players a chance to work. I think the fact that they're scrambling in that regard has been the biggest issue so far. And then defensively they were horrific in Brazil. I mean, there's just really no way around it. Their pass rush was awful. Their secondary was running into each other. Second game was great, but again, when you have this small sample of 2 games, what is this defense right now? I don't know, but I can tell you the defense lost them the game in Brazil. It basically almost won them the game on Sunday, but the offense wasn't good enough. So you sort of have had, in the past, you've seen the Chiefs so many times they played what they call complementary football. Like, when the defense needs a boost, the offense gives it. When the offense needs a boost, the defense gives it. It's been the opposite of that so far this year. When they've needed one play to be made on one side of the football, they haven't gotten that. And as a result, you look up, and that's the reason they're 0-2.
Last quick question for me, Jesse. We were talking about the schedule, and you said, well, you're in the Super Bowl, so you're going to get a tough schedule. They've been in the Super Bowl a lot. Is this the toughest first half of the schedule that you've seen the Chiefs have in your tenure, or has there been previous ones that I'm not recollecting that were tougher?
I can't remember one that's tougher than this. And yeah, I mean, you look up, and that's why this Giants game, I mean, I think the Chiefs are 5.5-point favorites on the road, and I think it was minus 250 on the money line last time I looked. So probably you're about 70 to 75% to win. But yeah, when you have the Ravens at home after that, and you've got the Lions coming up right on the schedule right after that, you have to do all that without Rashee Rice. This really is one where it's just kind of punch after punch after punch after punch for the Chiefs. especially after you lose sort of a coin flip game in that first one against the Chargers. So they're going to have to be ready. They're going to have to get going, and they're going to have to figure out some answers very quickly because you do not want this thing to snowball away from you. And again, the Chiefs can overcome a 3-3 start or maybe a 2-4 start, but something like 1-5, that's a really big hole to come out of.
One more quick one for me, Jesse. So you talked about, of course, the running backs and the O-line not being able to get much push for them and the passing game not really working out too well. How important do you think it is that Mahomes is able to scramble like he is now?
I just think he thinks it's the only option right now. And we've seen him in these desperate modes before. Usually he saves this for the playoffs, and that's sort of what has been their secret weapon, is that teams forget about that, and then he's able to scramble and run and get all these extra yards in the playoffs that he doesn't do in the regular season because he doesn't want to put his body on the line. Right now, they're in the desperation mode without Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, where he feels like that desperation mode is now. So it's good to have, and obviously it's a potential weapon when you play man coverage against him like you saw in the first half, but the Eagles got pretty smart in the second half and said, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. We're either going to spy you or play zone coverages. And when that happens, you either have to run the football or you got to throw the football and run the football with your running backs. And Chiefs weren't able to get either one done. And I would assume that these opponents coming up are going to look at that film and say, we're not going to let 15's legs beat us. Let's have the Chiefs prove to us that they can throw this thing down the field. And that's going to have to be a counter that they come up with here over the next few weeks.
He is Jesse Newell, Kansas City Chiefs beat reporter for The Athletic. Jesse, it's always great to catch up, my friend. We'll do it again soon. Thanks again for the time.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Once again, great stuff there from Jesse Newell. Fantastic stuff from him, as always. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we are going to change gears. We are going to get into some high school volleyball results and a few other things like that to wrap up the show next here on The Blitz.
Visit us in Colby, Goodland, Burlington, and Lamar for fast, friendly service and the flavors you love. Drive through, dine in, or order ahead on the McDonald's app. We'll have it fresh and ready. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Shift your career into high gear with Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. They're hiring a service and parts advisor and a lube tech, and they want you on their team. You'll get competitive pay, full-time hours, health insurance, a 401k, and plenty more benefits, all while working with the crew that keeps the tri-state area moving. So don't idle. Apply today at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Your next career is waiting right there under the hood.
All the sports you love, all in one place.
Ooh, this Schuh come in handy.
This is the Morning Blitz.
All right, wrapping up a show here in segment number 3. Some local results from last night. Colby High School Volleyball picking up their second win of the season. They got a sweep of Hill City. Last night, they played just one single match against Hill City. They win 25-19, 26-24, 25-19. Second win for the Lady Eagles. Goodland suffered their first loss of the season last night up in Nebraska. Cowgirls did beat Shiloh, which I think is a really good win against a team that just won, once again, the Gove County Classic. So a good win for the Cowgirls, getting that done in straight sets, but then were swept in their game against McCook, which, once again, McCook Class B school, so one of the bigger schools in Nebraska, a little bit bigger than Goodland. Quite a bit bigger than Goodland, to be honest with you. But at the same time, come up a little bit shy there. Lost that one in straight sets. Cowgirls, I think, are now, 5-1, 6-1 on the season. Rollins County earned a pair of wins at the Wheatland-Grinnell Triangular last night. Lady Buffs beat Wheatland-Grinnell in 3 sets, then sweep Tri-Plains-Brewster, and then Wheatland-Grinnell in the other game beat Tri-Plains-Brewster 2-0. Plenty more volleyball happening this evening. You've got Weskin and Tri-Plains-Brewster, as well as Cheyenne going to Logan for a quad. You've got Hoxie and Hoxie going to Hayes TMP for a triangular with Russell. Wallace County, St. Francis will be in Tribune at the Greeley County Tri. Quinter heads to Otis Bison for a triangular with Ness City. Golden Plains has a triangular with Northern Valley and Victoria. And Oakley will be visiting Hill City today on some high school volleyball. Also, cannot forget some golf results from yesterday. It was the 2025 Ulysses Girls Golf Invitational at Bentwood Golf Course. And the Goodland Cowgirls win again. They win by 22 shots, so not as big as we've seen, only by 22. But still, pretty convincing win over the runners-up from Syracuse. Allie Cure once again with a 7/79 to win the tournament. Sister Natalie finished in 4th with a 91. And then Sadie Cedarstrom and Tori Jones tied for 7th with 22/94s. So the Cowgirls once again pick up another tournament victory here this week, this time down at Ulysses. All right, there you go. Update on, and that's, like I said, volleyball is the only thing happening today. No other sports events from what I can tell. Major League Baseball update, though. I'm starting to get a little bit excited here, and probably it's going to get destroyed tonight, but the Diamondbacks beat the Giants last night, 8-1. They're a game and a half out.
Gallen looks good.
Gosh. I love Zach Gallen. I love the milkman. He's great. I wish we could sign him for a longer deal. My guess is they were trying to trade him at the trade deadline, and nobody really wanted him. I'm hoping they can find a way to keep him around. I love a lot of things about this D-back squad. I love how they play, reckless abandonment on the base paths, triples and doubles and hustle plays. I love how they play. They just need a freaking closer. Maybe they could get Clase.
Yeah, right.
They get Clase. Could they just have
He's
him?
not playing again.
Change his name. Say he's 12. Have him come pitch for the Diamondbacks.
I am 12. Yeah.
Clase Emmanuel. Hey, that would work. Here's Class Emmanuel. He's coming to pitch for the Diamondbacks. But anyway, I'm getting excited about that. We'll see. Got a couple of big series here with just a couple weeks left to see how it all shakes out. The Guardians win yesterday, or they had the day off?
We had the day off after sweeping the White Sox, but a very consequential series starts today at 5:40 Central Time. 3-game set with the Tigers. The first of 2 series we have left with them, and if we win 4, 5 of 6, there's not only a chance to get back in the wild card, but maybe to take the division. Guardians are only 6.5 back of the Tigers. It would be a real long shot, but
feeling like a long shot.
There is a world
6.5 seems humongous because 1.5 games back for me seems big.
I know. I'm just the Tigers have been pretty in the second half. They've been kind of slumping, and the Guardians have just been red hot, finding ways to win night in and night out. So, and I'm not even just saying this because I'm a fan of the team. The Guardians most of the time just seem to find some weird way to win day in and day out, regardless of how bad a season is going. And it seems like they always just kind of creep their way back into the playoff picture. So that's what I'm seeing.
By the way, the Royals and Rockies both had days off yesterday. They are at the ballpark today. You got Kansas City with a massive series with the Mariners. I mean, if there is a series that they would love to sweep, it would be this one because it would really give their playoff chances some life, which right now are microscopic. So the playoffs. So you're going to be rooting for Kansas City this series. I can guarantee you that.
Absolutely.
First pitch at the K set for 6:40 Central Time. Listed on AM 790 KXXX. And the Rockies at home hosting the Marlins. That's at 6:40 Mountain Time on AM 730 KLOE. On to the walk-off.
Drive, deep left, grand slam, and back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman, jackpot, Kansas City.
Some sad news this morning, especially for movie lovers out there. You happen to see that Robert Redford passed away at 89 years old. You even know who Robert Redford is?
I know the name. I know the name.
Robert Redford died away. One of the great directors of our time, passed away at 89 years old. You have anything you want to get off your chest in the walk-off? I love putting you on the spot. It's just great. Great radio too.
Eat your eggs. Eat your protein.
Eat your eggs. Eat your protein. All right. I got to give a shout out. This guy would not. He probably is like, I don't want the shout out, but too bad. Congratulations to Goodland Athletic Director Marty Lehman. He got the KIAAA Athletic Director of the Week award here this week. Should be for the year. The AD of the year. The guy is phenomenal in what he does for helping not only Goodland, but a lot of area athletes in a lot of areas. So congratulations to Marty on that award. Should have happened many weeks and years ago. But he should be AD of the year, in my opinion. All right, that does it for the program. Thanks again to Jesse Newell. Thanks to you for tuning in. We'll see you back here again tomorrow in 23 hours for another edition of the Morning Blitz. Hope you join us. Have a good one.